We're a little less than 2 months away from the highly anticipated premiere of Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragons, so it's pretty understandable why the fans are causing a fuss all over the internet. In recent news, a 22-year-old Australian actor will serve as the star as HBO boosts the Game of Thrones prequel. Who is this actor and what role do they play? Find out more in today's video. Australian actress Millie Alcock, 22, has been cast in the Game of Thrones prequel. A new prequel series to Game of Thrones will feature Australian actor Millie Alcock, who is featured prominently on the most current poster for the project. The 22-year-old has been cast as a youthful Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen in HBO's House of the Dragon. Alcock's involvement with House of the Dragon was originally made public last year, although there are still few plot specifics available. She appears to have a major role in the series, which is set to premiere in August 2022, based on the recent key art poster revealed by the series. The actress presently co-stars with Tim Minchin in the Foxtel drama Upright. She has also appeared in the Australian series Gloaming and the crime thriller Reckoning. For those of you who still have no idea about what takes place in House of the Dragons, it's based on George R.R. Martin's previous work. The novel Fire and Blood, written by George R.R. Martin, served as the inspiration for the television series House of the Dragon. The tale of the House of Targaryen is presented, and it is set 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones. In October of last year, the show's debut trailer was made public. Also recently revealed was the fact that Foxtel would debut House of the Dragon in 4K Ultra HD with improved Dolby Digital audio. Foxtel's Chief Customer Marketing and Revenue Officer Hilary Purchard said in a statement that the company is delighted to be the only broadcaster of House of the Dragon in 4K Ultra HD in Australia, putting viewers in the thick of the action with the most intense and immersive experience possible. Ryan Corr, a fellow Australian actor who starred in Packed to the Rafters, will also appear in the August 22nd premiere of House of the Dragon. As much as Millie Alcock gained a lot of attention in the recent House of the Dragon, so did the menacing dragon positioned behind her. Exactly who is this dragon and what role does it play in the story? Keep on watching to find out. A new poster for HBO's Game of Thrones prequel series House of the Dragon has been released, and it features a particularly menacing Targaryen. The poster depicts a huge dragon behind a flight of stone steps adorned with swords, taking up practically the entire background. Millie Alcock maintains her composure amongst all of this with an unsettling glare. Fans believe her companion Syrax to be the enormous fabled beast, even though its identity is unknown. Since we already talked about the recent key art of House of the Dragon, fans are already talking about some of the questions raised because of this poster. Are you curious to know what these are? Then make sure you're still watching from here on out. First, let's talk about Princess Rhaenyra. Who is she and what's so important about the recently revealed image? In the poster, we see Millie Alcock as Princess Rhaenyra, but when the show was announced, it was Emma Darcy who was cast to play the role of the Targaryen princess. It looks as if Alcock will be portraying a younger Rhaenyra, whereas Darcy will portray the older version of the character. When the series opens up, 2 centuries before the events of Game of Thrones, Rhaenyra is the firstborn child of King Viserys Targaryen, played by Paddy Considine, which is an important position in Westeros. Unfortunately for her, her status as a woman in the line of succession is not necessarily compensated for by the fact that she is of pure Valyrian blood and can ride a dragon. As the younger brother of King Viserys, Prince Daemon Targaryen, played by Matt Smith, is seen as the heir to the throne. According to early character descriptions, the image is particularly intriguing because she is Viserys' oldest child, but Daemon is the successor to the throne. She appears to be acting very much like a queen as she stands in front of swords that have been fused to resemble the Iron Throne, with a dragon at her back. This raises the key question of timing. How long will Viserys Targaryen live before the unavoidable anarchy breaks out? It hints that she may be destined for the throne after all. Since we already mentioned King Viserys, there's also the question of how long he'll live before all hell breaks loose. For how long will King Viserys hold on to the Iron Throne? Although Paddy Considine is listed as the star of House of the Dragon, every Game of Thrones fan is aware that top billing rarely translates into longevity in Westeros. Although King Viserys is a kind and decent guy, these traits may not often make for great kings, and the latest photo of Rhaenyra depicts her as resembling a queen in every way. A battle for the throne appears to be the show's primary conflict, given that character descriptions identify Daemon as the show's heir apparent, Rhaenyra as the monarch's firstborn child, Aegon Targaryen, Tom Glyn Carney, Viserys' firstborn son, and Aemon Targaryen, Ewan Mitchell, Viserys' secondborn son and Rhaenyra's half-brother. If so, Viserys' stay in House of the Dragon may may not be very lengthy, at least not for long. All things considered, the solution to the question of how long Viserys will survive could show how far the first season will go in provoking future strife, much like Ned Stark's passing in Game of Thrones Season 1. Generally speaking, what do we know about Fire and Blood, assuming most of us haven't read the novel yet? While House of the Dragon draws its inspiration from a fictional historical chronicle of the Targaryen dynasty written by George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones is based on the A Song of Ice and Fire epic of novels, which is still unfinished as The Winds of Winter have not yet been published. It provides a lot of facts that don't exactly provide the same level of insight into the thoughts of the characters as the novels offer. Warning: House of the Dragon, Fire and Blood sourcebook spoilers ahead. It's probably reasonable to argue that Viserys' heir and other children, along with their birthdays, are only mentioned to set up the Dance of the Dragon civil war, which started as a struggle for the throne after Viserys' passing. Princess Rhaenyra, the late king's firstborn child with his deceased first wife, and Prince Aegon, the king's firstborn surviving son with Alicent Hightower, are the two main claimants in the book. As Viserys' younger brother Daemon is involved, and as you might expect from a show that is all about the Targaryens, there is a lot of death. The Dance of the Dragon civil war is essentially the main source of drama and intrigue during this period of the Targaryen dynasty, and it appears unlikely that the House of the Dragon will last for several seasons without beginning it. In fact, fans may want to anticipate Paddy Considine to go the way of Sean Bean, with his character being killed off before the end of the first season, and the early episodes sowing the seeds of civil war before the chaos begins following the death. This is if the prequel follows the general format of Game of Thrones, which was obviously very successful. And finally, who is the cast of characters in House of the Dragon? Paddy Considine plays King Viserys, Matt Smith plays Daemon, Olivia Cooke plays Alicent Hightower, and Emma Darcy plays Rhaenyra on the main list of celebrities portraying Targaryens. Millie Alcock plays the young Princess Rhaenyra, Emily Carey plays the young Alicent, Harry Collette plays Jacaerys, Rhaenyra's eldest son, Tom Glenn Carney plays Aegon, Ewan Mitchell plays Aemond, and Fia Saban plays Helena Targaryen. It appears safe to assume that House of the Dragon is situated more toward the end of Viserys' life than the middle or beginning, because young versions of Rhaenyra and Alicent as well as their offspring appear. There will undoubtedly be a large number of participants in what appears to be the Targaryens' Game of Thrones, as there are also Valerians, Lannisters, further Hightowers, and others on the way. All things considered, even without knowledge from Fire and Blood, the recent image of Millie Alcock and the facts made public by HBO raised the question of how long King Viserys will endure in the House of the Dragon timeline. The first season itself and time will tell. The wait for House of the Dragon is almost over, which is really good news. And on that note, we're ending today's video about the House of the Dragons. What are you looking forward to most in the show? Let us know in the comments section below. We have high hopes that this GOT prequel will do better than its predecessor, considering the final episode of Game of Thrones was such a letdown to many. And before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.